go. We are heading to one of my favourite retro game stores in the UK, the Retro Retreat in Kings Lynn. And last time I went, they had absolute shelves of PlayStation 1 games. Not just that, they have obviously everything a gamer could wish for, but their PlayStation 1 selection is absolutely amazing. It is one of the biggest game selections I've seen in the whole of the UK. Now, this is what you call a PlayStation 1 game section. Two shelves absolutely stacked with both Platinum games and Black Label games. Seriously, mention in the comments if you know a game store in 2023 with a bigger PlayStation 1 selection than this one. And they're all in alphabetical order, which makes my life a lot easier. Finding games such as Air Combat, which is one I've been looking for a while. Again, it's not a very uncommon game. The only thing is in here, they do price games according to conditions. So you can get some super minty games and pay a little bit more. Or for something like the cheaper titles, you can pay that a little bit less, but get a copy that's maybe a little bit rougher or maybe missing some of the instructions. Obviously, I'm kind of looking for somewhere in the middle. I want to try and get the bargains to build this collection as cheap as possible. But when I can get a copy of Air Combat for $2.90, which was still in absolutely amazing condition, I'm probably going to get that rather than a copy for £11, because remember, we have 100 games left to go, so being able to build this collection on a budget is a really great thing. And this is the kind of place I want to find, places which have so much stock so I can add tons of games at once. I really like how this store kind of charged a little bit less for games if they're in not so great condition. I've been able to get Crash Bash for £17.50, would have been a really good deal. For me, it was a little bit damaged, so I did decide to pass on that one. I don't think it had a manual either. And like, some of these games were just really, really good condition. Like, it's surprising to have this amount of PlayStation 1 games, but still have the quality control that most of them are in fantastic condition. And this one's an absolute no-brainer. Final Fantasy Complete, in a fairly decent case, it all held together with the manual for a tenner. Yes, please. This is one of the best things about the PlayStation Platinum project. The amount of games you can pick up for cheap, like Fireblade, for just $3.99. Sadly, I think this one was missing the manual. Otherwise, this one would have been a really obvious pickup. It's kind of in the kind of style of Jungle Strike, Desert Strike, stuff like that. And it just goes to show you can pick up so many of these Platinum games for cheap. And that's a good thing about the PlayStation Platinum project. Being able to build one of the best PlayStation libraries physically possible for cheap. Like, a lot of these Platinum games are a lot cheaper than their Black Label cousins. I'm not quite sure why ISS is £9, but as well, some of these games did get slightly lower runs. Like, I still think the EA Classics artwork is one of the kind of worst things about the PlayStation Platinum project, because I know a lot of people don't like the kind of Platinum artwork, but for me, the EA Classics range just makes it look so much cheaper. Here we are, coming to the end of the absolutely huge shelves of PlayStation 1 games here at the Retro Retreat. And yeah, there was an absolutely amazing selection of games here. This one really took me by surprise. Tom Clancy's Rogue Spear. Like, I did not expect that game to be so expensive. That's the thing with the PlayStation Platinum project, is some of the games that surprise you. Like, for every cheap game there is out there, like Tomorrow Never Dies, which I didn't pick up as it was a little bit rough, and this is one that's fairly common. I hopefully will not regret that down the line. Same as when it comes to Tekken 3, a fairly common game, but this one's getting more expensive. £16, I think this one was missing the manual, unfortunately. It just seems to be my white whale at the minute. I've got every Tekken game now, but I still haven't got Tekken 3, and I didn't even manage to get this last year for my 20 and 2022 project, so Tekken 3 is definitely one that is on my list. But this is the problem of having a list. You need to make sure you keep checking it. I was very close to picking up for the second time this video the Tony Hawk's game. This is why I have to make sure I check every game I pick up so I don't keep picking up the same game over and over again.